well. And I'm just checking that we are live. So 1 second. Technology, internet, slow, patience. Okay, I can't see that yet. 1 second. Almost there. Getting there. Come on, internet. It's like the slow conscious mind.
And divine time.
Okay, yes, we are live. Hello, everybody. We already have about 6 people watching. And this is the PSYCH-K instructors I want to share with you from all over the world. There's almost 23 of us here today. There's 32 overall in the world. Some of us couldn't join today because of the time differences, and we're all so happy. And it looks amazing to see all these faces on the screen. So welcome, everybody. And Ducho is going to be telling us who's the next person who's going to talk, introducing each instructor. We're going to introduce ourselves in our own languages and then let you know who we are, where we teach, and we're going to talk a little bit about the principles of nature. So it's all yours now, Ducho.
Thank you. Thank you, Marta. Thanks all of you for your time and for your curiosity about knowing the PSYCH-K family. That's my second family. It's very, very important. I'm very happy to be with them and to let you also know them and experience their beauty, their light, their wisdom. And the first amazing, beautiful teal instructor who will present herself is Joanne Cameron from United States. Joanne.
Hi, as Ducho said, I'm Joan, and I live in Portland, Oregon. And Portland's on the West Coast, and we're known for being tree huggers. We absolutely love our nature. And so the principles of nature couldn't be a more topic dear to my heart. So right now I'm currently teaching out of Portland through the rest of the year, not because of quarantine, but for lots of reasons, to be close to my family. So my story is about the principles of nature is that when the COVID-19 virus came, like many of us, you know, one day to the next, things were being taken away from us. And it really reminded me actually of grief. And I had recently lost my father. And not to say it came anywhere near close to that experience, but it was a deep sadness. Something was being taken away. So I went to the principles of nature and I found the resiliency one category of the three. And the one that really resonated with me was I recover from my difficulties with renewed strength and determination. So in great PSYCH-K fashion, you know, I tested that belief and balanced it. It actually was weak. And here's a key point. Even though I balanced that belief probably 4 or 5 years ago, life experiences can change our beliefs again. So if they have an emotional charge, and so think of the COVID virus. I mean, think of how we're all being shocked, right, with new experiences. And so it's really important to be aware of that. And you will know. So I could see that I had fear in my mind, and that was my cue to kind of go check that out. And then the action steps I took, I said, okay, who do I want to be in 60 to 90 days? So it's kind of like we've got this lockdown. Who do I want to become and use this time? So I really looked at a couple of areas. First, I said it was really important to have connection with people. So I wrote on my daily calendar, who am I going to connect with? Second was self-care. So given I can't go to ballet classes, I can't go to the gym, I put together a new routine. And then third, I really looked at what do I want to learn? So for me as an instructor, obviously I can't be teaching. So I thought this was a great opportunity to enhance some of my skills. So I really said, hey, I'm going to go learn about YouTube and some of the social medias. And I just want to show you one last thing, because we want to take action steps and really make them tangible. So I put together on, I hope you can see this a bit, and I know you can't read it all, different categories, and I made them fun. So it's like connection, you know, body love, you know, spiritual connection, and then passion, well, actually the last one, privileged tasks, because how we say things, for example, if I just go, oh, to-do list, action steps, it can be so boring. So I said, this is a privilege to be able to deal with the internet, right? Or any of the small things, go to the grocery store. So that's how the principles of nature has really helped me. So thanks.
Thank you so much, Joan. Thank you. The next fantastic instructor is from Turkey. And you will know he also teaches a lot all around the world, and he's Eralp Kenner. Please, Eralp, all yours.
Thank you, Lucia. Merhaba, adım Eralp Caner. Ben bir PSYCH-K instructor'ıyım. Normalde New York'ta yaşıyorum. New York'ta, Türkiye'de, Hindistan'da, Kazakistan'da ve daha birçok ülkede eğitim veriyorum. Hi, my name is Eralp. I'm a PSYCH-K instructor, as you can understand from here. I live in New York City, and I teach in Turkey, in various cities in the United States, India, Kazakhstan, so far. This principles of nature was an astonishing topic for me when I very first learned PSYCH-K, because I thought this was the real hidden agenda of all the operation that we were trying to do. The reason why, before I learned PSYCH-K, I was in a corporate world, extremely stressed by and everything, and I decided to leave all my life and create something new. And the feeling I had instinctively was, I need to go back to my nature. I need to remember what I really am and who I really am. And this was the piece, when I first learned PSYCH-K, really brought me back to my senses, and it was astonishing. And time to time, I go back to it, I check it out. When I see, due to any shift in my life, the meaning of the previous balanced one is shifted to another reality, it might test wrong, and I retest it and balance it. And recently, very interesting thing happened about that, because, I mean, due to my traffic and all the travels and everything, I was seriously complaining about not having time for my own. And thanks to COVID-19, which gave me a huge opportunity to really remember who I really am again. And I started checking them out. One was very interesting, one of the topics, which was, wait, I took a note of it, which was actually harmony. And the thing, the goal statement that turned to weak after all the shifts I had in my life was, I live in harmony with nature. And right now, after balancing it, I literally started finding myself being in the forest a lot more than any time in my life, and started communicating with a lot of animals around me. Very interestingly, recently I found myself talking to a tortoise in the in the forest. Thank God the tortoise didn't talk back. That would be an issue. And after balancing it, I started feeling extremely grounded, and started thinking to even take further actions to be in harmony with nature. And none of you guys know this, by the way. I am right now in Marmaris, Turkey, with my mom at a seaside resort, surrounded by forests right now. And I recently discovered that we have a piece of land in here, which I knew we owned it, but I never thought about it. Now I am actually busy making a farm there. Started planting. And now probably in a couple of weeks' time, my ducks are coming. So I'm heading to really have something to escape whenever I feel like, to be back in my origin, because I grew up in a farm, by the way. And now it feels extremely more peaceful, extremely grounded, extremely positive and optimist about the future when I literally started connecting to my soil again. It's the soil itself, it's the nature itself. And I believe every problem on this planet is happening because of distancing from our origins, from who we are. And new normal, there's no new normal. There's only one normal, and we just need to go back to it. That's how I feel about it. Thank you, Lucio. This is all I am going to share about it.
Thank you so much, Harold. Back to our origin. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next amazing, beautiful, shining instructor is from UK, and her name is Kezzy Dare. Kezzy, all yours.
Hi, Ducho. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us here. I've been thinking about what I wanted to share specifically around the principles of nature. I live in the UK, in Cardiff, which is in Wales, and I'm blessed to live right overlooking a river by a big park, which leads into the forest and the woods. So in this time that we've had, this downtime that we've had, I've been able to go out into nature. And I was looking at the principles of nature statements a few weeks ago with some challenges that were coming up for me. And what was amazing, what really came to me was, just like Eralp, I realized that timing was a huge thing for me. Haven't got enough time. So I live on my own with my 10-year-old daughter. So it's just the two of us. And I would always squeeze everything in that I could in school hours. And then, so all my work, preparing for the workshops, my one-to-one sessions, planning, always during school time. So my self-talk was constantly, oh, I've never got enough time. And then suddenly everything changed. And it was amazing to have the time to just be present. So timing and the principles of nature has been incredibly supportive for me. So I balanced the timing statements, and that helped so much to allow me to really become more present in my life than I have for a long, long time. And during this time that we've had, some more challenges came up. And I realized it was all about our new way of having to live our daily life for me and my daughter, because she's obviously not in school now, and the homeschooling thing came up, which I'm sure there are some of you out there who are also parents who also might be having some challenges with the homeschooling aspect with your children and the work. And I found myself getting quite stressed around it. And so principles of nature, what jumped out for me was adaptation. And the statements, I'll read them to you to remind you, because these have probably been the life-changing statements for me during this time, not just with the homeschooling, but with everything that's been happening as well, having to cancel the workshops, not being able to do my one-to-one sessions at the moment because I can't take my daughter to my parents. So of course we all know about the asymptomatic, holding the space. So for me, that's not possible at the moment. So I'm missing, I'm missing the workshops. I'm missing the one-to-one connection in the sessions, missing my community instructor tribe as well. So the collaboration, it's incredible that we can really encompass so many of these principles of nature as an instructor community as well. But I'd really like to read the adaptation statements to you as a reminder. I naturally adapt to changes in my life because I was quite resistant to the changes and the new things. I've got to do the homeschooling, have to do the work that the school sent us, getting quite stressed around that. I easily recognize when change is necessary and eagerly accept and support it. I trust my creativity and ingenuity in times of change. And it was that last statement about the creativity and the ingenuity that really switched something for me. So I was like, right, what action can I take? So I ordered, we have a conservatory on the first floor in my house that overlooks the river and the park. Right, what can I do? How can I get creative? I ordered a breakfast bar table to put into the conservatory so that myself and my daughter Sarah, we could sit side by side and do our work. So she's got my old laptop, I have my laptop. We work together at the same time. got the whiteboard out. So I stood in the teacher position and she's doing all her work on the whiteboard. Those are ideas that I didn't have before I actually balanced those statements, because I was so tunnel vision about where I was in that moment. And the minute I balanced the statements for adaptability, I had all of these creative ideas about what we could do. And homeschooling is becoming a lot easier. We're not quite there yet with it, but it's become a lot easier and a lot more fun, because I was able to balance for the adaptability, for being able to be okay with the change and doing whatever is necessary rather than resisting it, which I found was happening at the very beginning with everything. And it's really helped me to feel a lot more whole-brained about everything that's going on and our personal situation as well. So bless PSYCH-K. It's been fantastic. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Casey. The next beautiful teal instructor lives in United States and is Karen Johnson. Karen, all yours. Please turn on your mic, Karen. Okay, it should be, okay, perfect, fantastic.
Just fat fingers. Hi, my name is Karen Johnson. I live in Spokane, Washington State. I say Washington State because there's a Washington, D.C. and gets confusing sometimes. I teach mostly in Spokane as well as through California, Central and Southern California. I've taught in lots of different places throughout my career as a PSYCH-K instructor, but those are the places that I teach most frequently nowadays. Let's see, where do I teach? The principle of nature is also, like Cassie, adaptability. With the coronavirus taking over so many people's activities and lives, and the changes that have taken place. I've had a surgery that I had to adapt, accommodate a different way of walking, a different way of taking care of my foot. And it's kind of a nerve damage thing, so it's taking a long time to heal. So adapting to and allowing myself to honor and nurture my body, my physical body, and pay more attention to it has been a very big, important part of the adaptability. That principle has been really helpful in that area. In addition to that, with obviously the coronavirus, the changes in that needing to cancel quite a few workshops, change plans, and at the same time, almost the same time actually, a couple of months before the coronavirus became obvious to everyone, I had an office space and a workshop space here in Spokane, and the owners of the property decided that they wanted to use the property for a different purpose. They wanted to repurpose it. So I was given notification that I had to move out of my office. So I was looking for new office spaces. Then the coronavirus happened. And I thought, how can I adapt to all these changes that are happening in my life? And came up and started working with the same principles that Cassie just mentioned, the same ones about making adaptations in my home, adaptations with my office situation, being more flexible about doing more sessions online rather than in person. And the statements in the principles of nature and adaptability really gave me more confidence. Instead of having the brakes on, so to speak, and being resistant to all these changes that were happening all at the same time, I felt so much more calm and comfortable and able to come up with creative ideas that I don't think I would have been able to come up with. I wouldn't have thought of all these different things that have enabled me to just keep on going and keep being productive, and including giving myself some time to nurture myself. The adaptability, and as Cassie was and Joan was saying, time to for myself, just to go for walks, to I'm a regular meditator, but I'm more consistent and I take more time meditating. It's at first it felt really strange, but it's starting to feel really comfortable, and I'm calling that my new normal, that being much more at peace and much more tuned into what's happening now, instead of me trying to change what's happening now, just being present for that. And it's made a really big difference. And I'm really grateful for all of the principles, but the adaptability is the one that I've used the most. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much. The next teal heart who will speak is from Argentina. Her name is Mercedes. Mercedes Garcia. Mercedes, all yours. Turn on your mic, Mercedes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Well, hola, soy Mercedes García, vivo en Buenos Aires, en Argentina, y enseño allí donde PSYCH-K me lleva. Bueno, nos lleva porque viajo con mi hija Francesca, de 4 años, y por ahora me ha llevado hacia Argentina, Uruguay, Chile y Perú. Hello, I am Mercedes García. I live in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I teach there where PSYCH-K takes me, take us, because I travel with my 4-year-old daughter, Francesca, and for now it is Argentina, Uruguay, Chile, and Peru. As for the principles of nature, thinking about what I will share today, last night I realized, confession here, that I don't balance them much as I would love to use them, balance with them. As if I could value them from my conscious mind, but also as it could be kind of resistance for these pages in the basic material. So I thought maybe it can be happening to you. And what I can share here is that we can test if we are in a whole brain state with them, and know if we feel part of nature, to let its principles to be part of me. Because if in fact we believe that we are not nature, that we are separated from nature, balance to let nature go deeper in me may mean for our subconscious mind to stop being me, kind of ego-nature fight. So my tip here is that if you feel you can enjoy a more lovely relationship with principles of nature, balance for this first, and I will.
Thank you, Meche. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The next male instructor from US, Texas, because as you can see, the majority are beautiful, divine women, but there are few men, okay, is Peter Gonzalez, even if he spends not much time in Texas, but he's from Texas. All yours.
Thank you, Lucho. Yes, my name is Peter Gonzalez. I live in Austin, Texas. I have taught in Spain, because my first message when I came to PSYCH-K was to teach in Spain. And I've taught in Spain, in Argentina, in Peru, in Chile, in Mexico, in Kazakhstan, had a chance to teach in Italy and in France. And again, I love to teach, so I'll go wherever. Nature, being a photographer, has always been important to me. It has been a master teacher for me. And when I discovered that there was these principles of nature, a part of me just so deeply exploded with joy. What a gift, what a tremendous gift. I think the main reason that I feel so close to nature is that it puts me and my life in perspective. There's such a strong, obviously strong force in nature that it makes me realize that I am a part of nature. And as oftentimes in different aspects of our culture, we feel that we are superior to nature. Well, being able to be around nature makes me realize how important the environment is. And so the more I can be in harmony with my environment, especially this larger and greater force of nature, the more balanced my life is. And so the principles of nature that I most resonate with is balance. Balance in terms of speaking Spanish, being raised in the Spanish world, and being American, well, more exactly Texan. It's a little bit different. It's a little joke there. Being able to be really in the world and also part of the spiritual world. So I think the principles of nature are so profound because they connect me with a greater force that brings peace and serenity. It brings aliveness, it brings creativity, it brings a connection with essence that connects me with nature, connects me with a greater source. It allows me to put whatever situation, circumstance, some people might call it problems, in perspective so that I know that there's always a way. Just like I know that I am a divine being, I know that there's always a way, and so it allows me to live in more balance and enjoy my life more fully. So if people are you know, Mercedes mentioned about not balancing, it's such a gift. I would really recommend that people enjoy the principles of nature like you would enjoy a warm, deliciously marvelous bath, like in a spa, that you enter it with a sense of awe and wonder and just allow yourself to be just immersed in this beautiful, powerful feeling that will ignite your heart and make your lives more beautiful. Thank you, Lucio.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. Thank you. The next example of divine feminine also put in the business environment is from US and is our amazing Robin Graham. Robin, all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Duccio. So excited to be on this. And I've got my Facebook up on my phone and seeing the comments. It's just beautiful. Thank you all for being here. And so my name is Robin Graham. I live in Memphis, Tennessee. And I have taught all over the world. So I teach mainly in Memphis, in Florida, and the East Coast. But I've actually been an instructor for 25 years, over 25 years. So I have taught in 20 countries on 6 continents. So I love to teach and love to be invited to whoever wants to show up. So thank you. As I was reflecting on our preparation for doing this and thinking about the principles of nature, similar to Peter, what I realized is being in nature is expansive. And what it does for me is 3 things. One is bring me back to presence. And if you think about it, when you're in nature, all your senses can come alive. You know, you see the ripples of the water. You see, or you hear the songs of the birds. You get to smell the beautiful scents of the flowers, etc. You know, you get to feel the warmth of the sun or the touch of dirt or whatever. Taste, you know, the amazing taste that happens with fresh fruit or with vegetables. So it really brings you, if you stay present, it brings you totally back to being present. And the other thing that I realized is that nature, when I love mountains, and when I look at mountains, it just gives me that expanded perspective. And sometimes when we're in our stuff, we need that expanded perspective. The other thing is when we really connect with nature, it allows us to deepen our connection within ourselves, actually to go beyond ourselves. So we realize that there's the small self, and then there's this expanded side of ourselves. And so what I think about with Principles of Nature, and what I invite you to consider, is that it allows you to come back to presence, to expand your perspective, and to deepen your connection beyond yourself. And so as I use them a couple different ways. One is if I'm considering something that's a struggle or a problem, I might look at the list and just consciously select the one that I feel relates to that, and then test the statements and balance them in our beautiful, simple process. The other way that I use it is that I made these little, I have a bowl, and I just made the numbers and the letters of all of the 33 principles. And so I might just have a moment of silence and draw one. And recently I was struggling with trying not to be judgmental about the people that are being judgmental. So, I trust that whatever's going on has a higher purpose and stuff, and that there's some other people that are extremely judgmental on both sides. And so I happened to pull one of the cards, and when I looked at it, it had to do with interconnectedness. And the statement was, I treat others as I would want them to treat me. And that really expanded my perspective that I can't judge them for being judgy, because then I'm being judgmental. So it shifted me into compassion, that people are seeing things at the level that they can see it. And the action was more of just an internal recognition. I haven't actually the action I thought of was to snap my fingers when I noticed that I was going into judgment, but it hasn't happened yet. So sometimes we don't have to take action. Sometimes it just happens naturally. So I invite you to look at the principles of nature, use them how it feels for you, but know that they bring you to an expansion and a connection with divine or source or beyond yourself, however you define that, and just embrace them. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you so much. The next amazing instructor she's an explosion of energy that comes from a combination of US and Brazil. And her name is Beth Holstein. Beth, all yours. And please.
Good. I have unmuted it. Good morning. I'm Beth Holstein, and I am in the Midwest. I am in Iowa. So I do teach here in the States, all over the Midwest, and truly love it. And I also teach in Brazil and Portugal. So I do a little traveling, which is great. This is the first time I went to Portugal, and I just loved it. So that's a lot of fun. Eu sou do Brasil, já moro aqui há 49 anos, ministro os cursos em português no Brasil e em Portugal. Eu sempre vou ao Brasil pelo menos 2 vezes por ano para ministrar os cursos. Então, espero que todos vocês sejam bem-vindos. Now, back to English. One of the things that I miss the most at this very moment is to teaching the workshops, because I really love doing that. So most of my work, excuse me, has been now doing sessions online, which has been great. And also have been doing a lot of lives on Instagram, Facebook, and talking about PSYCH-K, what it is like, and trying to invite all of you to participate in this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful PSYCH-K, deep from my heart. So principles of nature have been showing up a lot. And the one that comes up a lot for me is the resiliency. And I like to just say the 3 of them and then explain why. When I experience a setback, which is what we're experiencing now, I recover quickly and easily. I recover from my difficulties with renewed strength and determination. And the last one is beautiful. I naturally see the gift and opportunity in adversity. And that's exactly what is happening now. And I find that those are the three that I needed the most. And thankfully, I have been calm, confident, at peace with what's happening, and being able to transmit that to all my partners. I love doing that with them. And so when dealing with fear and anxiety about what's going on and what will go on in the future. So I have balanced them again. And interesting enough is that I was weak on all three of them. So therefore I balanced each one of them and feel much, much better about this whole thing. So I'm looking forward to starting to teach again, and hopefully soon. And I will continue doing my private sessions on Skype because they work just as well. And I hope that this would help all of you guys. So for the facilitators and the participants, balancing with nature has just been probably the best thing that I've ever done. So again, I wish you peace, and hopefully we'll see each other again. Até o final do ano. Bye.
Thank you, Beth. It's beautiful.
You're welcome.
You speaking in Portuguese. Thank you so much. Okay. The next amazing instructor is actually the youngest of our community. She lives in Germany, and her name is Sabrina Kiermaier. Sabrina, all yours. Just turn on the audio. Thank you.
Yes. Hallo zusammen, mein Name ist Sabrina Kiermaier. Ich lebe in Deutschland, in München. Und die meiste Zeit gebe ich Workshops in Deutschland oder in der Schweiz. Aber PSYCH-K bringt mich auch in viele andere Länder der Welt. Also von daher bin ich auch viel unterwegs. And now in English, my name is Sabrina Kiermaier. I live in Germany, in Munich. Most of the time I'm teaching in Germany and in Switzerland, but also PSYCH-K brings me in so many other different countries of the world, so I'm also traveling. And regarding the principles of nature, I was thinking what to share and what I did the last weeks. And immediately with the shutdown, I didn't go through the principles of nature at the beginning. So I was just setting my attention what I want to do during this lockdown, during this time. And I set the intention who I want to become after this time, who I want to be, who I want to become, what I want to get rid of. And the last days when I was preparing for this meeting now, I noticed that I did a lot of the principles automatically by what I did and what I set my intention for. And it was getting connected with family members, with people I care, who I love, with friends. So yeah, getting connected and treating other people the way I would like to be treated as well. And the principle that caught most of my attention was more is not always better. So I was looking what is really important in my life. What do I want to keep? How do I want to spend my time with? What do I want to do? And not doing more and working more. So really come back to the core, because more is not always better. So I'm doing less and I'm slowing down and I'm spending time with my son. We are really enjoying the homeschooling. And yeah, it's about thinking what is most important in my life, and what do I want to keep and what do I want to get rid of. And so I was very drawn to the principle of nature regarding more is not always better. And I'm enjoying that one and thinking of every area of my life. What can I get rid of? What's really the core? What do I want to keep in my life? And what's really important and what matters for my relationships, for my family, for my work. So really coming back to the core and to the essence. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you.
Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you so much. So the next one is me. Okay, I will start with Italian. Il mio nome è Duccio Locati. Ho vissuto quasi tutta la mia vita in Italia, adesso sono 5-6 anni che vivo in Svizzera e insegno PSYCH-K in tutto il mondo ed è la mia passione. Now in English, my name is Duccio, but if I go to Starbucks now, my name is John because it's impossible for them to write my name correctly. I think I have a list now of modifications of my name through Starbucks. I teach PSYCH-K all over the world, and I'm so happy and passionate about that, and to be part of this amazing family that you are getting to know more and more. Thanks also to this Facebook group and everything that Marta is doing to connect all of us with all this sort of community. And regarding the principles of nature, I use them when I feel that I need them. I have something inside me that starts to tell me, Duccio, it's the time, it's the time. It could be once a month, once every 2 weeks, once every 2 months. It's not regular, but I feel when I need it. And the most recent that was really life-saving, and I'm not exaggerating, was about timing. Because even if it seems a paradox, now that I had so much time, I completely tilted about time. So, and I realized that also for me, teaching was actually relaxing. When I was not teaching, I was doing a lot of other things. So taking care of emails, other projects. And I found myself a couple of weeks ago completely in stress about timing, about, oh my God, I have to do this, which first? I started to do something, but in my mind there was the next thing to do. So I stopped to do that thing, I started to do the other one. And I was very unproductive. So I balance for the timing, I balancing for also the balance. The balance category was the key point for me as well. And the balance key was I balance my work life with my personal life, because I don't know you, but I love so much what I do that sometimes I overdo it and I don't take care of myself, and I don't just enjoy life for what life is. So I'm so busy and I enjoy so much everything I do with PSYCH-K that sometimes I forget that I have other things in life that I need to take care of, and to have some time off, to just do nothing. Because for me, when I did nothing, I started to feel guilty. Okay, oh, it's wasted time if I do nothing. And thanks to the principle of nature, I realized that doing nothing is very precious. So my action step for this combination of the balance and timing was to really write on my Mac, on the calendar of my computer, some slots of time in which I knew I had to dedicate to a specific thing. Okay, from 9 to 11, I would do that. From 11 to 12, I will do that. And today, I will have the afternoon free and I will go have a walk in the woods. And in this way, being more organized and not panicking about wasting my time or not knowing where to start, or starting something, abandoning that thing and starting to do something else, I became really way more productive. And at the same time, I started to enjoy my life, because PSYCH-K is here to evolve on a personal and global level, but also to really enjoy our three-dimensional life. It's not here for balancing 24/7. Just do the balance that you need, and then enjoy your family, enjoy nature, travel, enjoy animals. I see Sandra with her horse, beautiful. So that's this is my experience, last experience with the principles of nature that really saved my life because I was really stressed about that. So happy to share. Thank you so much. And the next one is another amazing, powerful, and at the same time peaceful, amazing of Isumatak from UK, Sharon Locke. Sharon, all yours.
Thank you, Dicho. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today in the UK and beyond, because for sure this is a great excuse for us to all get together and to hang out together. We love that as an instructor community, as an instructor family, and our PSYCH-K family. We don't need much excuse, do we? So for me, the principles of nature are such a gift for all of us, but also for my life and my life experience and the way that I've used them. But in this current experience of isolation in quarantine, nature has really reminded me of this connection, of this interconnectedness that we share together with nature, this really dispelling this myth of the illusion of separation. And for me, I felt a little bit of stress going into this lockdown situation that we find ourselves in this quarantine time, in this sense of this disconnection from life, disconnection from our friends, from our family, from the things that we'd been used to. So for me, caused a little bit of stress, and for sure I had to do some balancing around that, not necessarily using the principles of nature in that sense, but the sheer fact that we were allowed to go out and exercise and reconnect with nature, and having done that every single day, just being in nature has reminded me every single day of the importance of that connection, and that, you know, we don't need to be, even if we're in our homes, if we're separate from our friends and family, we are blessed to have technology to be able to maintain that connection, that interconnectedness. Nobody can ever take that away from us, that interconnected nature of we're not separate, this divinity that joins us together. So for me, that was a real challenge going into this current situation. But what I wanted to share in relation to the principles of nature today was the principle that I feel most aligned with. And for the instructor community, this won't be a surprise. And for many of the facilitators, those who know me, know that this principle for me is like breathing. It's like my middle name, and that is collaboration. So when I, years ago, first balanced with the principles of nature, the beautiful gift that it brought into my life was a connection with Kazi, who is, as you've already met, the other wonderful instructor who's based in the UK. And I met Kazi. We have this beautiful divine connection and relationship that we work together every day, really, and support each other in the work that we do. And I feel so incredibly blessed to have that as part of a gift through the principles of nature, collaboration. And of course, extending that out beyond the work that Kazi and I do together on a day-to-day basis. Many of you know how closely we work together, but also collaboration within the instructor community. We have a group where we collaborate together and bring as much collaboration as we can to our instructor family, that then always filters down to you as facilitators. So for me, collaboration is like breathing, and I am so blessed to have these principles of nature in my life, as everybody else is sharing. So that's my gift that I hope that goes beyond me, and I share with all of you as facilitators in the work that I do. So thank you. Thanks, Dicho. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much. The next amazing instructor is our TL firework, PSYCH-K TL firework. Her laughing is absolutely contagious. She lives in US and her name is Mary Mazur. All your
Hello, everybody. And this is funny because I'm talking to all the instructors, but all the Facebook people are listening, right? So this is really funny. Yes, I live in Detroit, Michigan, United States, and I do speak English. That is the only language I know. A little bit of French, but I teach wherever my spirit leads me to. So I teach in Michigan, Florida. I've been to Los Angeles, Toronto. Canada keeps calling me. And then this year, Sabine from Belgium and I hopefully will be going to France and Israel in July if things open up. So I just have to say, when the principles of nature came into my life, OMG, wow. I was clueless about nature. I'm a city girl, and my whole life has been fast. I'm fast, and wow. It's funny because like we live on this planet, right? This is nature's with us and around us all the time, and I was clueless. I barely even noticed it, which is really funny. So when the principles of nature came in, like anything, I'm like, all right, I'll balance for it and dive into those goals. And I had no idea the gift it was bringing me. Absolutely none. Like phenomenal. And now, and that was about 5 years ago. So now I love looking at it now because I'm just in awe. It has opened my heart and to massively in every single way. It is the gift. Nature, Mother Earth, nature is who we are. It is our feminine energy, and each one of those goals that we can embody within us helps open us up and remember who we really are in that oneness with her precious, beautiful energy. And I think the biggest one, similar to Dujo, and I believe Cassie too, was timing. Timing was the one I love to wrestle with. I mean, I duked her out, man. There's no way. I was fast. I talked fast. I did everything fast. It was on my timing, gosh darn it. And then I would get slapped at all the time. So I was horrible with timing. I was always late, 10, 15 minutes late. I thought people were strange for being on time. What the heck, man? They're a little tight, stuff. And oh man, now I laugh at myself because the gift is when you balance for these things and then you begin to put them into your life. I'm actually early now. I've never been early ever my whole life. So talk about timing is impeccable. Wow. When you can like align yourself, every one of these balances that we do, especially the principles of nature, aligns us into who we really are again. So I invite anyone who would like to dive into it. It is in our basic packet. And if you haven't touched it, it's okay. I'm not even sure when I actually dove into it, but it does draw me, just like Ducho says, it will draw me when I need a wake-up call. And I'm so grateful for it. And now, I mean, I love nature now. That's what I do every morning. I sit in front of my favorite window when it's cold here and just look at the trees. And my son asked me, Mom, you love nature, don't you? And I said, yes, I do. I would never sit still and just be. Are you kidding me? And now I love it. So you can have a completely different experience in your life if you so choose. And the principle of nature is like this, this precious gift. It's this precious gift. And it actually is us. Each one of those goals that we embody within ourselves just opens your heart and lets you come in balance and harmony and your interconnectedness, and allows you to have your own unique diversity in every single way. So honestly, I believe it's one of the most precious gifts on this planet for yourself. And dive into any one of them and let the magic happen. Just start noticing, how much more in alignment you are to your true essence, your love and light that you are. So, thank you, Principles of Nature. You saved me.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. The next amazing, beautiful Isumatak is from US, but from a different part of US. Beautiful mountains there. Karen Mackay.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And it's great to see all of our instructor community, or many of our instructors here on the call. So I do live in Colorado, and it is beautiful mountain country, and we are surrounded by these amazing mountains. And so nature, even though I live out on the plains of Colorado in the Denver area, I get to look to the west and see the beauty of the mountains. And then I look to my east and I see the prairie and the plains. And so I live in a very beautiful place that allows me to see interesting balances of nature. And I love both because they each bring us such different qualities. I'd like to share about cause and effect, because over the last several weeks, that has been something that I've really come to understand. We have a great responsibility to ourselves and a great responsibility to everyone on the planet. So if we just take a look, and I'll just share them real quickly as others have done, that I accept responsibility for the choices I make and the results I get in life. And one of the things that has been very prominent for many people that I've spoken with over the last several weeks is the level of fear has been just out of proportion for the reality of what we're experiencing. And while fear can be motivational in some respects, it is very much a negative energy as well. And it can really suck us down into despair and other feelings that are not so warm and friendly. So I've asked people to take a look at where love is fitting into their equation and focus in on the love that we can vibrate out to the entire planet and others on the planet, including our animal friends, the birds in the air, and help us really focus on where we want to be going. What is it that we want to be creating in our lives? Because we are master co-creators in everything that we do. And if we don't take responsibility for creating what we want, then we take responsibility for getting what we're thinking about, which may not be such positive stuff. So I really like to focus in on the love and feeling of joy and gratitude and being in that vibration, because we're vibrational, energetic beings. And that is where we can focus our energy to be of greatest productivity for everyone on the planet. So if you have done any of the advanced workshops or the master facilitation workshop, it's very important to connect in with those processes and allow ourselves to be centered in love and assist others, perhaps through surrogation, if you're called to do that, to help us upgrade the energy on the planet. So that's one of the things I really have been enjoying doing a lot. And the B statement is I create my own reality with my thoughts and actions. And so just again, what I'm saying about being a beautiful co-creator of what you prefer to have. And it's real easy to think about the things you don't want to have, but what is it that we do want to have? I want to have a world where my freedoms are restored. I have the capabilities and the joys of walking wherever I want, whenever I want, and having my own health under my own personal care and sovereignty. That's important to me. So the last one is everything I do has an effect on myself, on others, and on the world around me. And we could very well add that one in with collaboration, because everything we do has an effect. So every thought we think, we are projecting that into the universe. We are projecting that to everyone on the planet. And that brings us back to our own personal responsibility, which is what I believe PSYCH-K is all about. It's helping us understand our personal responsibilities to ourselves and others, and the difference that we make here for everyone on the planet. So I love you all. Thank you so much for joining us, and love to be able to assist any of you at any time. So just let us know how we can help as an instructor community support you in all of your goals and activities that you're working on. So thank you very much. And I'm going to go tend to the nature in my front yard because my lawn service company just showed up. So I'm going to have to say goodbye. But I've loved this time with everybody, and I may be able to pop back on in a few minutes, but just know why I'm taking off for a few minutes, and I'll see if I can come right back. All right, thank you very much for this opportunity to share. Love and blessings to you all.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you. Now we will move back to Europe and specifically to Italy to to hear the experience of another amazing living example of divine feminine, Irene Menis. Irene, all yours.
Ciao a tutti, grazie davvero di cuore di essere qua e di condividere questo momento. Io sono Irene Menis, vivo in Italia, un po' tra Torino e Roma, e insegno PSYCH-K principalmente in Italia, ma dovunque sono invitata. Sono stata in Francia, in Polonia, in Romania, e mi piace tantissimo portare PSYCH-K dove c'è risonanza. And if I have to say it in English, I'm Irene and I'm Italian. I live in Turin and in Rome, in between these two cities. And most of the time I teach in Italy, in Italian, and I've been teaching in France, in Poland, in Romania, and I love to go everywhere. I'm invited to be with PSYCH-K. And before being an instructor, I grew up in nature, and I was used to be a sport one, outdoor sport. So I really enjoyed nature, hiking, climbing, diving, swimming, and mountaineering. I really loved to be there. Every time I had some spare time, I was used to go in nature. And at that time, I didn't know what the principle of natures were. And that's the beauty of nature. Even if you don't know the principle, by just being there, we are exposed to her wisdom, and we resonate, and we have the possibility to really connect with our profound nature. And it's such a privilege here in PSYCH-K to have the principle of natures stated in such a beautiful and simple way, so that all of us can go there and use them to reconnect with her wisdom, no matter if we have the real possibility to walk barefoot in a field or really live in nature. And I'm using them in many ways. Sometimes when I'm struggling with the question, what do you want instead? Sometimes it happens because the situation may look a bit tortuous or articulated. Sometimes I'm not really able to answer the question what I want instead. And principle of nature are really a source of wisdom. Sometimes I do like Robin does, just to pick up a number and do the balance, or just go through all of them and test all of them and see what are the gifts for me. And it's so beautiful when I find that some statement is still testing strong, no matter if I already balanced it in the past, because it's a new level of understanding. It's a new level of align myself to the wisdom of nature. And I can't really say what is the most important. They are all equally important, and in different moments of my life, I resonated more with one or with the other. And in these days in which we are all facing our challenges, this is my experience as Irene, and as I can see and listen from the facilitators I am in contact with, we are all really facing the challenges that we tried to procrastinate in our life. And it's so beautiful to have the guidance of nature. I am in this lockdown time, I decided to stay with my family. I'm used to either live alone or with my partner when our travel agenda overlap a bit. And so being with my sister, with 2 babies, with my grandmother is really a challenge for me. And I've learned so much from the principle of nature about balance, family life, personal life, professional life, timing, and collaboration and interconnectedness and adaptability. I have to adapt my way of being, my way of talking, my way of playing games, my rhythm of life. Resilience was really beautiful because as some of us said, we had to let go many things. And it's so beautiful sometimes to have the privilege to start from scratch and think again about what we want to be, where we want to go, just reset and take the time to think again about what we want to be. And the beautiful of nature is really that when I have the privilege to walk in the garden or to walk along the river, I'm close to the river. Even if I am in a city in Turin, there is a nice river. And by walking along the river, I really perceive that nature is flourishing out of this lockdown, human lockdown. And the purpose of nature is really flourishing, no matter what. And I guess this is the message for us, for the humanity. To reconnect with the wisdom that we are here as divine being to thrive, and no matter what happens around us, the boundary conditions are irrelevant. A flower will find its way to reach the sun, the light of the sun, and so we are, and so we can do, and really go back there to the principle of nature is like breathing fresh air, reconnecting with the wisdom of our oneness. It's really reconnected with the oneness we are part of. So use them every day. Every time you feel a bit disconcerted, just go there and it will be a relief. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next explosion of Izumatakness is back to US and in Texas. She is a combination of Izumatak and fun at the same time. And she's my dear friend, Catherine Moyer.
Good morning, Ducho. Thank you. And good morning to all my brothers and sisters. My gosh, we just don't get to see each other and spend this kind of time together very often. Thank you so much to Kazi and Sharon for the collaborative idea that you guys came up with to share ourselves with the community of facilitators. You guys are so awesome. I love you. I love you all so much. I'm Catherine Moyer. I live in Texas. I teach primarily in Texas on a regular basis. You'll find classes in the Dallas area. I also teach in Utah, Ireland. Really, like all my other brothers and sisters, I go wherever I'm invited to bring PSYCH-K to a group of amazing souls that are ready to learn this work. It's absolutely amazing. So we're all pretty boundless with where it is that we go to share this. We'll go anywhere, man. We're like complete addicts. This is our crack, man, for real. We're like, yeah, PSYCH-K, you want PSYCH-K? Oh, where do you live? I'm on a plane right now. I'll be there. Like, when? I teach in English, but I'm fluent in Pig Latin. I've never taught in Pig Latin, but I'd be open to do that. I have to say that a couple of things resonated with me as I was listening to all of my other instructor friends sharing their wisdom and ways in which they use the principles of nature. And like Mercedes, it's the last place I go. If I'm giving full disclosure, I'm not pulling out the principles of nature and balancing for those. And like Ducho, I'm all work. I try to make my work fun, so work is like play for me, but all my play is related to work, which is probably why I have so much fun doing what I do, and I look like a hot mess half of the time because it's just so exciting and fun, everything that we're doing. But the thing I have to say that keeps coming to my mind, number one right now in these times, is what Bruce Lipton says, in that we if we are not growing, we're dying. That's sort of a bottom line, period, end of discussion statement. If you are not growing, you're dying. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes life needs to put me into a conundrum to get me to grow. Like, I'm not jumping out of bed every morning going, how could I grow myself today? I'm just not doing that, right? So part of my human story is very much related to the principles of nature in adaptation. My parents gifted me with 7 divorces between the 2 of them growing up, and I moved a lot. I moved between California and Utah every year and a half. And so my life theme growing up was about adapting and being flexible, taking life as it was coming and doing what I needed to do to find my footing and keep moving forward. And I think that that's been a gift for me in these times. Like, because I grew up and always needing to adapt, like every day was adapting to something and having to be flexible to an environment and a situation that as a child I didn't have any control over. Like, this is the way it is. You need to get on board or figure out how to make it through this situation. So really, what resonates with me now is this whole idea of being able to adapt to a changing world. And how will we be able to move forward after this has moved on? And I think that even when we're finished with this pandemic that is truly changing the way we must think about how we live our life and how we move forward from this. Typically, when I'm going to the Principles of Nature, it's because I'm following a message protocol from the master class or the health and well-being class. And it's always shocking what it takes me to, because it's so relevant to what it is that I'm having a struggle and I'm blocked and I'm meeting resistance within myself and moving forward. And these times have been absolutely amazing to slow down, to, even though I spend every day with my husband, we're spending our time together in a different way now, right? I'm actually enjoying the e-sumatak space he holds for me, where every day that's not usually the case. But I'm loving his calm, peaceful nature. We're getting along better in this shutdown than we've gotten along ever, probably in the 23 years we've been together. It's absolutely amazing and beautiful. As far as taking some action steps, I can say that starting the day with the whole brain posture and transforming the perception of our stressful times and situations is a beautiful day to just begin your day. So you can be more level-headed in how you choose to step in and receive the information that's coming at you. I've turned off the news. I'm being selective on where it is that I'm getting my information about everything that's happening. I also spend so much time not moving that one of my action steps to recent balances about everything that's happening in these times has been to spend 15 minutes a day on my whole body vibration machine that vibrates every cell in my body for 15 minutes and really snaps me out of it. I also had an action step that I did the other day because I am kind of an indoor pet. I don't like to be outside very much unless it's beautiful weather. If it's hot at all, I just don't like to sweat. So the other day I actually took all my clothes off and I laid in the backyard on my lawn in the sun for 15 minutes just to soak it all in, man, just to soak it all in. And I also, while driving around doing grocery shopping, which I usually send my husband out to do, I've been opting in and going with him. We'll drive in the car with the sunroof open and the windows cracked a little bit to kind of bring the sun in, because I'm feeling like, even though I live my life in lockdown, historically, like that's how I like to roll, is inside with the air conditioning and all my technology. I have to say I don't get enough of the outside. So that's been a really amazing gift too, to kind of step back into it, get in the backyard, take your clothes off, run wild for a minute, put your feet in the dirt, enjoy it for a second. But remember that we're resilient. That's what I want to share too, is that we are adaptable, we are flexible, we are powerful, we are survivors. But all this is doing for all of us, and it's a different thing for everybody. This is giving us an opportunity to grow and expand and learn something about ourselves that maybe we just didn't know before this all happened. So I would encourage you guys to step into a space like that with, what is this giving me? An opportunity to grow and birth within me that could change the rest of my life in ways that I can't even imagine right now. That's all I have to share with you today. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you. From US back to Europe, and specifically to Belgium, I am very proud to present to you. I would define this amazing instructor like a lion. She's very peaceful, but at the same time, very, very brave. And her name is Sabine. Sabine, all yours.
Hallo, thank you. Thank you, Duccio. Thank you, everybody. Mijn naam is Sabine Ravenschot. Ik woon in België, in Keerbergen. En ik geef vooral les in het Nederlands, maar ook in het Engels. En ik ben me aan het voorbereiden om les te geven of om workshops te geven in het Frans ook. Ik heb workshops gegeven samen met Mary in Israël. En we gaan dat ook in Frankrijk doen, in Rouen. En ik hoop dat PSYCH-K mij ook brengt in vele andere landen, waar ik ook workshops kan geven. So now in English. My name is Sabine Ravenschot. I live in Belgium, in Keerbergen, a very small town. I teach, most of the time, I teach in Flemish, in Dutch. I also teach in English, and I'm preparing myself to teach in French. So I taught in Israel with Mary, and we are going back, hopefully in July. We are going to teach together in France too, in France. And I hope my spirit will lead me also to all over the world to teach more workshops. But I let myself go. So everybody is willing me to take me as an instructor, I will go. So about the principles of nature, I remember when I was a child, I was very connected with nature. I even talked to flowers and to trees, and people thought I was crazy. But when I grew up, I lost this connection a little bit. And after I took the basic workshop, I tested all the principles of nature to be strong in my system again. And one principle that's always coming back is the principle of balance. So now, after repeatedly have to do it again, and I took the action step to go every day for a walk in nature. So I'm doing it now for the last 4 years. If I don't have time, it's a half an hour. And now in lockdown time, I have sometimes 2 hours to go in nature. And the last balance I had to do about it was, I see things from a balanced point of view. And suddenly, really, nature was talking to me again. I get messages, I get insights. They even said, you need to do the goal statement of this, and I just did it. And I could feel my heart opening and connecting with Earth again, and also connecting with myself, with who I really am, my authentic me. So I really could see the things that I don't want to do anymore, and I don't do it, and I just say goodbye to it, and I welcome the new things that were coming to me. And that's how I do the principle of nature. So that's all I have to say for now.
Thank you, Sabine. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
From Belgium, we move south to another amazing instructor. She's our shining South African instructor, Elma. Elma, all yours.
Hello. Hi, everybody. It is quite weird to know other people are watching us, but I'm just watching my friends in the instructors community. So I've been very blessed that I was in my holiday home when the retreat, I don't call it a lockdown, it is none of that, it is a retreat, because I refuse to give anything negative energy. And so I've been in solitary confinement in my retreat. And as I've been listening to everybody, I realized, and only now realized it, how the principles of nature has played a role in the last 8-9 weeks, every day in my life. And I was originally just going to talk about cause and effect and resiliency, but all I can say, everything that everybody else spoke about has really, really, really solidified for me. And I wouldn't have known this if I didn't know about the principles of nature. So for those of you, I mean, all of you've done it, but go back to it. It is such a great gift. It really, what it did for me right in the beginning, I've always been connected to nature in a profound way, but it never gave me the structure of understanding my growth within nature and with nature. And so it now has come to a place where I truly feel every single one of us, every human being on this earth is nature. We are the personification of nature. And this morning as I was walking, I was trying to think, I was very nervous about talking. So I was trying to think, what am I going to do? And as I was walking, because I live just outside a nature reserve and there's an illegal little path that I can go in. And I've been going every day. Oh my goodness, I shouldn't have said that here. But anyway, because in South Africa, we weren't allowed to go, but now we are. So I was walking this morning going, what am I going to talk about? And then came up, the first thought was law of cause and effect. How did we get here, guys? How did we get here as the world? So let's look at this. We're at 7 billion people on Earth. If just every one of us had one thought on a day, and it was, I wish I had more time. I wish I could. I wish I didn't have to go to work. I wish I didn't have to go to school. I wish I had time to spend with my family, with my husband, to unpack the garage, to learn that. We created this as a collective consciousness. So when that realization came in, my immediate next step was, okay, so what do we learn from this? And then I turned to nature. And then we hear these beautiful things about the dolphins coming back and the swans coming back and Venice's rivers cleaning up. And I go, whoa, but we can do that because that's who we are. And that for me today and yesterday was a big thing because there was some nigglies, and those of you who know me know that I've, struggled with some severe illnesses and stuff. And I've been so well. And then as I was here, there were just these little nigglies. And I went back to a doctor and she just went straight back to the old stuff. And I went, no, I'm not there anymore. And if you guys can't get it, I'm not going to go there. Because this that I'm seeing, nature cleans its rivers in 7-10 days. I can do that. We can all do that. And then I come to resiliency. We're so darn resilient. We are, when we look at ourselves, we are humans in nature and we have a human nature. So what are we? We are simply nature in human form. That's who we are. I got nothing more to say. Go and be wonderful. Enjoy.
Thank you, Alma. Thank you so much. Thank you. The next divine instructor having a human experience is from Spain, and her name is Matilde Santos Leal. Mati, all yours. Mati, your volume.
Okay, thank you very much. It's great to be here sharing with all these beautiful PSYCH-K family instructors and facilitators. I'm very grateful and very happy to be here. En español me presento, soy Matilde Santos Leal, vivo en Santander, en la costa norte de España, y enseño PSYCH-K fundamentalmente en cualquier sitio del mundo donde me quieran llevar. He enseñado en Nueva York, en Hong Kong, en Londres, en Kiev, en sitios maravillosos, conociendo a personas maravillosas. Now in English, my name is Matilde Santos Leal. I live in the north coast of Spain, in a place called Santander, a small town. I teach mainly in Spain and Portugal, but PSYCH-K has given me the privilege to meet people all around the world. I've traveled and taught in New York, London, Hong Kong, Kiev, Madrid, Barcelona, Lisbon, Porto, many places. And like everyone else, I'm very happy to go to teach wherever anybody wants to take me. And about the principles of nature, well, everything that everyone has said up to now resonates with me. There are many, many things, many interesting things having said already. And I was thinking last couple of days, about what to talk about. And there are so many things that the principles of nature have given me. When I started with PSYCH-K in 2009, the principles of nature were not included in the material. It was included a few years after that. And when when those principles were included, I balanced all of them, all the statements. And I've just realized these last few days, thinking about all this, that really things have changed. I hadn't realized how deeply things have changed for me since I balanced that when the principles were added to the material. For example, well, I've always been, when I was a girl, when I was young, I was very connected to nature. All my holidays, my mom and dad always took us near to nature, because we went camping very often for holidays by a river or by a lake or by the sea. We always did lots of sports in nature. So I was quite connected when I was a child, but afterwards I feel I lost a little bit that connection. And after I balanced that, I went back. I realized now that I went back to doing lots of sports in nature again. I love rafting. I love via ferrata. I love skiing. I love cycling, skating. I realized that all the sports that I like and I love are outside, outdoors, in the sun, in the fresh air, surrounded by nature. And also, my family had a piece of land about 700 kilometers from where I live. And we used to go there for holidays also sometimes in the summer. And I grew up jumping around and hiking and climbing trees and bathing in the springs. And so I really loved that. And I had lost that also. But these last few years, I've started going back to that place, where that family piece of land. And it's a place that I love, and it's a place that is really very wild nature. We have a little stream and big rocks, many trees, chestnut trees. And after I balanced all that, I've been going back there and getting a really deep connection with that area again, and I'm really even looking forward to live there for long periods if I can. I'm rebuilding the place and taking care of the house, which is a beautiful house, but it's a place without electricity, without water, without running water. We have wells, without, well, just the very basic things, but it's a beautiful place. And just before we were told we had to stay at home, I was there for a week with a friend, and I had a wonderful time. In fact, in a way, I wish I could have stayed there for all this time. But well, the universe is beautiful, and they take us where we have to be. And so I've been in Santander at my home until about 20 days ago, with this friend, sharing with her, which wasn't planned at all, because she was going to go back to Barcelona, but she couldn't because of all the planes were stopped and everything stopped. So we were sharing for a few weeks together there, which I really enjoyed and loved, all the implications of that. And the last 20 days or so, well, another challenge came up, and I had to go back to the principles of nature again because I needed to adapt. And 20 days ago, my mom and dad started having a high fever, not a high fever, a bit of a fever, a temperature, and headache and things like that. And they didn't have anybody to help them out. So I moved into their house, which at the beginning I was a bit worried about because I had to adapt to many things, to many changes. But going back to the principles of nature helped me a lot, and adaptation has been the one that has been very present in these days. And a couple of days again, we had to adapt again because my mom was taken into hospital because she had a very high fever. And in the end, it was urine infection, which, well, she's now recovering from. And the thing is, it has been, well, I've connected with a few challenges this last 2 or 3 weeks, and the principles of nature have helped me a lot to be able to, well, to make the most of this time, share the time with my mom, with my dad, and adapt to whatever comes. So I'm very, very grateful to be part of this and to have this marvelous tool. And I recommend everybody to just check what's happening in your life and see if there is a principle of nature that can help you out, and just have a look at the material and balance and test and see what comes up, because beautiful things come out of all this. And the way I usually use them is in that way. If I have a challenge, I see what can come out of the principles of nature, and every time there are wonderful things that come out. So I'm very, very grateful. And so thank you very much to everybody for being here. Muchas gracias. Muito obrigada.
Thank you, Mati. Thank you. Next, amazing, wise Isumantak. She's also lion for her courage. Back to the States, Joanne Sweeney. Joanne.
Hello, everyone. This is such a beautiful opportunity. It really is a reunion of all of us coming together. My name is Joanne Sweeney, and I reside in New Jersey, and I mainly teach in the States. I have taught in Canada, but as many of you have also mentioned, open to where we're divinely led to teach. So certainly open to going wherever I am guided. For me, Principles of Nature, when PSYCH-K found me and I went onto the PSYCH-K website and watched that beautiful 11-minute movie representation of the principles, I wept. I was so taken back by the beauty of it. And I have many times shared that as part of my introduction to the Principles of Nature during my workshops. I share that video, and I have continued to cry many times, a little bit of a crybaby, but it's really just that emotional connection to the principles. I I actually had a somewhat of an aha, experience this morning, a revelation for myself at least, with the understanding that for me, the principles of nature is more like a practicum to the category of spirituality, a true, to apply the principles of nature really allows us to connect into the essence of who we are. I remember at the certification, Rob mentioned the principles of nature was his most favorite category. And I really do look at it as not so much a category, but a way of life, back to the essence of who we are. For me, balance is the category that speaks to me the highest. Although all of them are absolutely equally as important. But balance in my life, as many of you have mentioned, PSYCH-K for me is my passion and a calling. And to do what we love and to be in full embrace of owning that, we do have to balance our professional and personal life. And I have a lovely 7-year-old Sumatak who reminds me of that many, many times, who had, before the lockdown, had mentioned, Mommy, you work too much and you need to have more fun. You need to play. So certainly have, brought that in. He also is being, homeschooled. And as Cassie had mentioned, I had my own issues of being open to technology. Many of you know that so much of it was like that for me, to be openly embracing it. And what I realized is that, it was a refusal for me to really learn it. So to take the time to learn it, even from a 7-year-old, brought such a beautiful understanding of adapting and taking the time. I am surrounded in nature. He also reminds me of going into recess as part of the school day as much as any other day. I have moments of being in nature where I'm in just absolute awe, taken by the perfection of the moment of being and not doing. So I have truly slowed down at this time and spent, much more time being and, connecting with myself and really being aware of the blessings in the mundane. I don't know if you guys have experienced it, but for me, I'm appreciating the simple things, and the little things are everything to me. Appreciating the flavors of food, not wasting food, the not seeing the smile of a stranger. There's so many things I think that I'm in such a depth of appreciation for the so-called mundane. That really allows us to connect fully with humanity, ourselves, and all that we do have to be appreciative of. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, beautiful PSYCH-K family of instructors and facilitators. Each person on this call is so passionate about what we do, and I'm honored to be part of this community. So thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. The next amazing and very passionate and committed Sumatak is from Belgium. Her name is Martine. Martine, all yours.
Thank you, Duccio, to organize, and to Matilda and the ideas from the UK. I'll start in Dutch. Mijn naam is Martine Tondeur. Ik woon sinds 7 jaar in Scherpenheuvel in België. Ik woonde voordien vlakbij Brussel, maar ik ben heel blij dat ik nu meer in connectie ben met de natuur. Ik geef les de workshops van PSYCH-K in het Nederlands, in het Frans en in het Engels. Hier in België, maar even goed in Frankrijk en in het Franstalige gedeelte van Zwitserland. En volgend jaar in Quebec in Canada ben ik gevraagd. En even goed in het Engels dan in Scandinavië, Zweden. En misschien ook nog Noorwegen. And now in English. English is my third language, so if I make mistakes or I don't find my words, I'm so sorry. So I live in Scherpenheuvel in Belgium. I teach in Dutch, in English and in French. Here in Belgium, also in French and in Dutch. and even in France and in Switzerland, the French part, and also in English in Scandinavia. And I have a question to go to Canada next year in the French part too. The principles of nature. Yeah, I realized that I live now since 7 years, not so near to Brussels. So before I lived near to Brussels, and with the smoke, and even I remember now when I was a child, my parents had a shop, and when I came out of the shop and our house to the car, and I came on the big avenue with all the smoke, I did so with my nose that I don't need to smell all this stuff. So I know that I like to be in connection with nature, and that's a feeling that I have now here since I met Richard and that I live here in Scherpenheuvel. And we walk each day in the morning and now in the evening too in summertime. Only when I give the workshops, I can't do it in the morning, but yeah. The principles of nature, yeah, I'm so glad that Bruce told us a few years ago on our conference to test these belief statements regularly, and then the year after that, test them 1 or 2 times a week. And so I have my page 18 always with me in Dutch. So even when I'm teaching in France, I have my map in France with me, but I like to do it in my mother language. And I think it was in Paris, if I remember, and you know, the Swiss time, when we give a break, and we have the collective belief statement here that the more we go to the south, it's not a Swiss time. So I realized that people after a break, they were not in time in the workshop. So I was thinking, why am I creating this? What's my problem here? So and often then I go to the principles of nature, and I came to the topic of timing. I thought, people, they don't come in time after the break, and I tested with myself, and my timing is perfect, and it wasn't the tested week, so I balanced, and then the break after, everybody was on time, Swiss time. Even if I start in the morning the first day by saying it's Swiss time during the breaks, but it didn't work. It was what we create ourselves by our own belief statements. In fact, so it's nice that we can do that with us. And even now, when I was listening to all my PSYCH-K family, I realized, oh my God, last year I called to have help for my mother because of after the death of my father, and the last month she is really very, very bad with Alzheimer, and I asked for help, and it was not possible, only 3 nights a week. I said, yeah, but we need to cover the other 4 nights too. How are we going to do this? And now I realized, my God, in this time, in the Corona time, that I found help from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, because of during the day it was not a problem, but in the evening we have help, and at 9 o'clock in the evening for the whole night, 7 days on 7. So I think last year I asked for help and I didn't receive it. It was not possible. And now even in this time that's so difficult, that we have this help. So I'm so grateful for that. Yeah, and even it can be connected to other, because I know that I did other principles of nature, that I put it into balance. I naturally find harmony even in difficult situations, and that I can feel this now. And yeah, it gives me such a nice time and having this to transform ourselves, and that we can have it as a result as action plan. So in this difficult time now, to have this help, yeah, it's so nice to have PSYCH-K, and that I can share it to all the facilitators all over the world.
Thank you so much, Martine. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
And now the last 3 fantastic instructors, sumatacs and shamans from 3 different parts of the world, the Netherlands, Colombia, and Canada. The first one will be Paula, the amazing Paula from the Netherlands. Paula, all yours. And the volume, Paula, the audio. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Duccio. I'm very happy to be here. Mijn naam is Paula van der Werf. Ik ben een opgeleid tot psycholoog en ik ben een PSYCH-K-instructeur in Nederland. En ik woon in Leiderdorp. So now I will say the same in English. My name is Paula van der Werf. I am a Dutch instructor. I live in Leiderdorp, which is between The Hague and Amsterdam. Everything is in Holland, so Leiderdorp is as well. So everything is nearby. And the thing I wanted to talk about is timing. The principle of nature that I chose for today is timing. And every principle of nature, as you know, has 3 statements. And the middle one is, I choose the right time to do things. And I always found this a challenging one, because when do you have to push and when do you have to let things go, and you know, and when do you get into the rhythm of things, that there is this natural flow going on. And so I tested this one, and I tested that I choose the right time to do things, but that was strong, and everything was going really well. And then COVID-19 came along, and everything came to a stop. I couldn't do my workshops anymore. So what about timing? What is it that I should be doing if I shouldn't be doing my workshops? And for me, I did a related goal statement. And the related goal statement was, when one door closes, a better door opens up for me. So if there is something better than teaching workshops, at least in this time, what would that be for me then? And I do believe that if things have to happen to you, the least you can do is to get out of it better, stronger, faster. So what could I do to get better, stronger, faster out of this period? And then I thought, I could be working more on my own health, and I could be working more on my fitness levels, because it was very easy when I was busy working to make excuses for myself that, you know, there are other things more pressing and I don't really need to do it now. But all over a sudden, all my excuses evaporated. And then I thought, well, I have this wish to get out of this period bigger, better, stronger. But my facilitators probably do as well. And we could help each other to reach our goals and our commitment, to help each other with our commitment. So I created a group of facilitators. I actually created 4 groups because I wanted to keep the groups small. And I created 4 groups, WhatsApp group, and we had a Zoom meeting every week. And we did the 30-day Corona challenge, in which we could work on whatever issue we wanted to work on. So for me, it was my fitness and my health. And amazing things happened because we committed to each other to do it every day, at least one balance. We were sort of forced by this social commitment to go deeper and deeper and deeper. And this is what happened. I mean, I can think it is about fitness and health, and it is as well, but it's also about reconnecting with my own strength. So after these 4 weeks, I feel stronger and more centered within myself. And of course, you also have these, you know, we help each other. So I got onto a running program and even on a dance program, which was very revolutionary for me. But I would never have done that if I wouldn't have been in discussion about this with other people. So what was important for me was on this goal statement is when one door closes, a better door opens up. And what resonated the most for me was the idea that a better door opens up. Instead of thinking, oh, no income anymore, no more work, what am I going to do? Think of, okay, what is going to be better for me? And that helps me to stay in the flow and to stay flexible. So to stay open instead of closing down. And that has really helped me. And it's a point of view and a way of life that I hope I will continue also after the normal structure of doing workshop starts again. Yes. But thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The next one is our amazing Marta that probably many of you already know from Colombia. Marta, all yours.
Thank you, Ducho. Hola, mi nombre es Marta Vargas. Vivo en Colombia parte del tiempo. Mis hijos dirían que muy poquito parte del tiempo. Y la verdad es que la mayor parte del tiempo vivo en un avión porque enseño en muchas partes de Latinoamérica. Tengo ese privilegio de enseñar en Ecuador, en Perú, en Costa Rica, en Guatemala, en México, en inglés y en español en Miami, también a veces en el otro lado, en Los Ángeles y en San Francisco. He estado en Turquía gracias a la invitación de ERALP y simplemente una gran bendición poder ser instructora de PSYCH-K, de apoyar la evolución humana. Tal vez se me olvidaron algunos lugares, pero bueno, eso es. Y como han dicho los demás, vamos donde nos invitan. So in English, my name is Marta Vargas. I am from Colombia, and I have a home here, but my kids would say that I really do not live here, as I usually am on an airplane traveling to different parts of the world, in Latin America particularly, and it's such a blessing to be able to teach in so many countries. And also, I think the greatest blessing of PSYCH-K is beyond being able to see every part of this amazing planet is the amazing people that we get to connect in each workshop. And to me, that is the beauty of PSYCH-K, beyond changing beliefs and all those things that we do, the ability to create this tribe and to feel that we become as apparent strangers on the first day of the workshop, and then we're best friends and family by Sunday or even sooner. There's no way that we could repay that back to life. And our way is to be here with you. In the light of the principles of nature, I love something that Rob says is not everybody in our current culture has the possibility to go to nature. And we forgot that we are nature. So the principles of nature is the possibility of bringing nature to us. It's of reminding us that we are nature, that these principles are not to be applied only because we want to, yes, we want to have a better planet, of course, but that better planet needs to start within. And that's the most important place. And that's why the principles of nature are these original instructions that Mother Nature has offered us through Rob to re-educate us. This is our homeschooling with the principles of nature. So if you can find a way to remind yourself as a facilitator to use them, that would be our suggestion. They're there as vehicles of evolution. They're going to meet you where you are. And that's the reason why we look at them over and over again, because the moment that you go back to them and it's weak again, it's just your system saying, okay, you're ready for the next level of this, whether you know it consciously or not. And in the context of what's currently happening, I was thinking today that I've played golf since I was 10, and nature has been present in my life through golf courses all my life. And for so many years, I was in such a competitive mode that I would completely miss out on the nature part and on the beauty of being out there and the privilege that is to be on a golf course. And for the last 40-something days, there's no golf. So there's no way of going out. I've actually been outside my house 3 times because the restrictions here are really, really strong. So the principles of nature have become this way of loving shelter for me, of finding that peace and that calmness that I now find when I go and play golf, because golf has become my meditation. I don't meditate, but that's, I think, being present is our way of meditating, whatever it is that we do, and balancing through the principles of nature allow me that presence. And the privilege of these whatever days that we've been at home with my kids here, and I found the gift of discovering I love to cook. And that's also another way of being with nature. What is that nature that's in my fridge now? How's that nature going to nurture through love my kids and I? And what is each ingredient and how it's represented in our balance of feeding ourselves and finding that beauty of really nurturing through love and through nature, through cooking. And that's something I had never thought about before. And the balance of, like Ducho was saying, how do I keep my time for myself, my self-care, and also take care of facilitators and what we want to do with sessions and what's going to come next, and also how to keep my emotions from going too far, because we are human and it happens, and there's been waves of uneasiness, of impotence, of where is this going, of confusion, and then the principles of nature again. Which one do I find? Like Robin says, I can just pick up a number, or I can let my superconscious say it's number whatever, and go and do those balances. So it's just a constant reminder that they're there, and then they are essential, because that we are that. They're not outside. Nature's not outside. It's within us. So thank you, everybody. And I also want to thank the facilitators watching us today. I think we have people from, I don't know, probably at least 20 countries. And it's an amazing connection to all of you. So thank you.
Thank you, Marta. Thank you. The next fantastic instructor is the perfect embodiment of PSYCH-K and nature, because her two passions are exactly teaching PSYCH-K and nature, and horses in particular. She is from Canada. Sandra, all yours.
Thank you, and thank you for your patience, because I've been out in the paddock with the horses and my phone was running down to next to nothing in terms, so I had to run in and reboot so I could come back outside. My name's Sandra Wallen, and I'm born and raised in Vancouver, which is on the west coast of Canada on the Pacific Ocean. I grew up playing in ferns that were taller than me. I grew up in the rainforest here, so beside the mountains and the trees and the ocean. So I feel really, really blessed that nature has been my teacher and my mother really my whole life. And so when Rob brought the principles of nature to PSYCH-K, I was giddy with excitement, and it just felt like such a natural inclusion in the beautiful processes that we're already learning. So for me, I've been blessed. I've been an instructor since 2008, and I've been blessed to teach all over the world. Most recently, I was in Jerusalem teaching inside the walls of the old city, and then in Amman. So then I was in the desert of Wadi Rum, right when the borders back to Israel closed. So it was a beautiful example for me of adaptation and also interconnection, because my husband became my travel agent when I'm phoning him from Wi-Fi in the middle of the desert saying, can you help me figure out how to get back home? So it was lovely and amazing. A gift. It pushes us out our edges, and I think that when we are in nature, she brings us this nourishing love and unconditional. She's Isumatok, and at the same time, when we are ready, she moves our edges further out. And and the other thing, so collaboration is what I want to talk about today. And this is Xenophon, or Zen. He's my big guy. So I work with my horses a lot, and horses are actually what brought me to PSYCH-K. And so as much as I can, I spend time with them and I ask them questions all the time. I collaborate with them all the time. He's the most talkative because he thinks he's the most beautiful and he always wants to be in all the shots, which I think you probably already noticed. But I think for me, collaboration, interconnection, balance, resilience, adaptation, all of these things are what horses have taught me. They've probably been the greatest teachers in my life. So when I get to learn things like in the advanced class, how we learn surrogation so that we can actually be balancing within ourselves, but also how we now have the opportunity to go into surrogation for nature and for these beautiful animals that we share our lives with. It's just one of the most, I think, greatest ways I can give back. So in terms of reciprocity and sacred reciprocity, now he turns his bum to me, so that's what he's thinking about this. Sacred reciprocity is for sure what we receive from nature, but also I think we have a responsibility to contemplate and be in balance with what we give back. And so that's what I'd like to share and invite everyone to do, is not only to think about what nature brings to us, but what we can share back to her in return. So love and blessings from the mountains.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. Last but not least, our amazing instructor from Italy, Giancarlo. Giancarlo, your turn. Please turn on your audio. Fantastic.
Ciao a tutti, sono Giancarlo Merlo, mi spiace per il ritardo ma ci tenevo assolutamente ad essere qua e sono appunto uno degli istruttori italiani, insegno esclusivamente in Italia, un po' ovunque, a seconda di dove trovo le persone più interessate, tramite le quali maggiormente crescere, tramite questo splendido strumento che è PSYCH-K. A brief presentation of me. I'm Giancarlo Merlo. I'm from Italy. I teach in Italy mostly. And thinking about the nature, the principle of nature, I quite have no words to say in this moment, because it's this incredible moment of our global life, a crazy moment, led me directly to nature. It was an attraction absolutely so strong, so natural, that every single point that is described in the principle of nature come back to me in a deep growth. I'm very lucky because I also live very near to nature and close to mountains. So I had a lot of blessing time in nature, receiving deep wisdom from nature. All I have to say is let nature be our most important teacher. There is absolutely all the wisdom that we need to approach and to solve and transform this incredible period. Thank you to all. Thank you for being with me and with us in this incredible journey. From my heart, a hug to all of you.
Thank you, Giancarlo. Grazie.
Grazie a te.
So we're done. I don't know how many people were on Facebook, because I didn't open Facebook just to have all the family in front of me. So I hope this will.
We had over 70 people join us.
Beautiful. So anything you would like to share, Marta? Anything we would like to say before closing?
Just thank you, everyone, for being who you are and what you do, like Rob says, and we keep walking.
Yes. Again, thank all of us instructor, all of you facilitators. Thanks for the beautiful idea, for that you instructors have had about this meeting. This was very useful and beautiful. And we all hope to see you as soon as possible in the beautiful new reality, governed by the principles of nature. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Everybody.